Hello everybody, Prowl here again with another amazing Reforj video here for you. And I have some stunning stuff to show you guys and talk about today. I want to talk about the generation of the world and show you some really cool, amazing, unique features that I've seen, including some that literally made my jaw drop. I'm hoping I can find them in this world. If not, I'll go to the other world where I've been playing in survival, and I'll find it there to show you. But there's some amazing stuff here. So we're going to cover terrain generation, and I want to talk about the good things, and then if I can think of some things that I'd like to see change, I can think of a few probably off the top of my head. I want to talk about those too, because terrain generation is going to be a very, very important thing here. And I think we should just start out with the basics. How is the world generated, or specifically, how big is this world that we're in? Reforj is a world that's made up of about 4,000 blocks by 4,000 blocks. It's pretty large, and they don't call them blocks, by the way. They call them elements. I'm going to call them blocks because to me that's what I'm like a 3-year-old. That's what they are. Okay, so it's made up of a world that's 4,000 blocks wide by 4,000 blocks wide, and eventually they're going to add in a feature called gateways that allow you to make more worlds inside of your world. So just imagine I can make a gateway, you know, anywhere I want to, and then I go through that gateway, and then I have access to another 4,000 by 4,000 world, and I can make as many of these gateways as I want, and I can make as many of these extra worlds as I want, and I can even customize the things in those worlds. We'll talk about that at another time when we get more information on what gateways are going to be and how they are going to work, or they get implemented in some way. But just know that this 4,000 by 4,000 chunk of land is not the only thing that you have. And another thing to note is the world does I guess it does loop around, and I'm going to show you this really quick. You see that we're at the X level. Look at the top left hand corner of my screen. Our X coordinate is 322. So if I were to keep traveling this way and then I get to 0, what's going to happen is we're not going to hit a hard border. We're not going to go into the negatives. We literally have looped around. I've gone right here into the 4,096. So 4,096 blocks in each direction. The world loops. You're on what would feel to you like a globe. Try not to think too hard about it. The world is not skewed. It is still a flat world. It loops around in this type of manner. Okay, so the world consists of a lot of things that you would expect. There are biomes. I don't know exactly how many there are, and I don't know if there's a biome versus sub biome like difference. So I might have to get a little bit of that information from 4J. I'll be sure to ask them. But there are biomes. There are rivers, lakes, ponds, and oceans as well. The world is quite a lot of water. Like, land masses are very often divided by water. This is something that somebody brought up in a question to 4J, and they did acknowledge that that is how the generation works now, but I think they want to change that. I think they want a little bit more variety to where it doesn't just feel like everything's on a big island. So if you notice that, just know that they already kind of know that that's how the game's working, and they do plan on changing that. Biome wise, we have everything from what seems like kind of like a plains type area to we have some snow-capped mountains. You have what would be, I guess, equivalent to like a taiga biome in Minecraft, and you have desert here as well. We have desert right there too. Ooh, here's a more, I guess it would be like a forest type biome. The tree density is a little bit higher than it is out in the more plains type area, so that's kind of nice. Very rocky too here. Extremely rocky. I would like to know what they call this biome, or if they even have names for them. I'll see if I can get a named list of the biomes from them that they have so far. As I'm flying around here, I think we're coming up to the biome that I wanted to find. You can kind of see by the map what I'm talking about. Everything kind of looks like an island separated by water. So this is something that they've talked about in their Discord, and that they do look at addressing. And here's the other biome that I could think of that I've seen. And again, I don't know how many biomes there actually are or specific names to them yet. I'll see if I can get that information for you. But for now, this is the other one. It is a icy biome. Looks really cool. The way it kind of looks like everything's got like a fluffy snow on it. It's quite fun and quite visually neat. Now, this will probably lead me to, actually, let's start away from this. There's a really cool feature that I've seen that I'm not used to in a game like this. Minecraft definitely doesn't do this. That has to do with the way that rivers form. First, I want to show you here, and water maybe more in general, like how water forms. You'll see here right now, water starts on Y level when you're standing on 62. So I guess to be, yeah, 62 is like water level in the game, generally speaking. That's like, that's sea level. So here we go. I've found a couple. These are like little pools of water, but look, you have water that generates well above like normal, like sea level, and these like little ponds up in the mountains, almost as though like the mountains, whenever there's rain or whenever the snow caps were to melt, that water would drain down naturally into these like little abscesses in the mountain. Super cool. I think it's a really neat feature. It's quite fun to find these. They could be fun to build around, or if it'd be really cool if like maybe if they add fishing into the game or something at some point, which they don't have a plan to right now, if like different bodies of water could catch different things. These like upper level lakes would be different stuff than the rivers, different stuff than the oceans. Just a thought, but something really cool that I liked and could appreciate. Here's another one right here. And if I can find what I'm looking for here, I've seen some really cool stuff with the way that these things will form. And I think I might have an example right here. It's going to be a small example, but it's going to be one. So you have, ooh, is this connected? It is. Let's see. Oh no, this is all the same. Nope. Oh, does it go down here? It does. So these little like rivers can be generated in the game, and they actually do flow at different Y levels. This one's a kind of small one. I've seen some bigger, cooler examples. I'm going to try to find one for you guys, but I think it's so neat that the water, look at this. Look, it's like a creek almost, where the water is just following a natural dip in the land to find its way down to a big body of water. I think this is really cool. This is one of the things that when I first saw it, my mind was blown, because I've tried to reproduce this type of look in Minecraft and builds that I've done. It's not very easy to do, especially to do well. The natural generation of this game handles it so perfectly. It's really cool. I'm glad I got to find a pretty good example of this to show you guys. But there's another river-like thing I want to show you that's, I think, maybe even cooler. Let me try to find it. Hold on. While we are on the way there, I will point out that the build limit for the game is 256 blocks. And the depth limit, as far down as the world goes, is 0. So the world is 256 blocks tall. It is my hope that based on how well this game performs right now and through further optimizations, I would like to see that increased. Because some of these tall mountains, there's one here, I'll come across it a little bit later. There's a mountain here that I saw that sits at that limit, and it would be incredibly cool to build something on top of it, but it's at the limit at the top. And furthermore, you only have about 60 blocks below ground to build, which isn't a huge amount of space in terms of what we're used to nowadays. So I would like to see a stretching of the world. I saw a really cool comment too. 4J, if you're listening to this, it's a small thing, but I like it. Somebody suggested that zero be sea level. Anything below 0 would go into the negatives, and above 0 would go into the positives. I kind of like that idea. I thought it was pretty cool, pretty nice. Ooh, here's one such feature I was looking for. So you have these lakes form in these frozen biomes, and they're frozen over. I mean, again, not too much different than, say, a Minecraft. I kind of like how it's snowy and you can't see through it. What I think would be even cooler is if they added in another block, like a clear ice block, and you would have patches in here that you can see through, and these other patches that are like a snowy ice that you, which is maybe what this is, I don't know, but like a more snowy ice that you cannot see through. I think it would be really neat to have that type of difference in this type of land formation. Here's a cool generation. It looks like a staircase. Oh, do you know why it looks like a staircase? Oh man, this is cool. You guys don't understand how cool this is. This is a river. This is a river. Oh man, hold on. I'm finding this live. Oh, that's cool. So you have this huge lake that is formed in the top of this mountain. And then that water has found its way out through a little cave right here. It looks like it got cut off here, but if I found something like this, I'd probably dig that out to make it actually connect. And then it forms this river that is frozen over, that has worked its way down, and I'm assuming it'll make its way out to a main body of water. This generation is phenomenal. Like in terms of this, like the height maps and this type of thing, some of these features, like S+ tier, it is so good. Some other cool things about generation have to do with the fact that like the trees that generate can have different leaves on them depending on what biome they're in. Now, in this case, unlike in the game of Minecraft, where you're, at least on Bedrock Edition, where like it can snow and a particular leaf can turn snowy in that particular biome, here, they're just snowy leaves. So you could get this leaf and take it and put it somewhere else if you wanted to. I think that's okay. It's a different way of doing it than what I'm used to. And it has its benefits, right? Like I could decorate with that block anywhere. I mean, it is also kind of cool to where like when there's a weather system and it snows, that your leaves turn snowy. There's no weather system in the game yet, so we don't know if that will or will not be a thing. Last thing I wanted to try to find, if I can, is that giant mountain. So let me see if I can locate it. Ooh, what is this? Okay, hold on. Oh, this might be another one of those like rivers that goes into, oh, it goes into a cave? Whoa. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Oh man, this is cool. This is so cool. Look at it. It's like a cave. Oh, and it comes out and it goes down and leads to water. This is so cool. Oh my gosh. There's some of these things in a generation that they just absolutely nailed. And this is one of them. That is one of the coolest features that I have seen. Like I could see in a survival world wanting to like widen this out to make it a little bit bigger. And like you could make a whole civilization right down here. Like I could carve big rooms into these cave walls and then like have a cool cave base that has a natural river leading from a lake down to like a large body of water is like a key feature of my base. Oh man, that is really cool. You know what I haven't seen though, and I would love to see, based on how good they've done this generation so far, I would love to see some waterfalls. I don't want them to be super common, but like if every single 4,000 by 4,000 world you have is like, might have like 1 or 2 waterfalls in it, would be really cool. Cause man, they have nailed so much of this. It is so awesome. And here's that super duper tall mountain I was talking to you guys about. This thing goes up to build height. This mountain completely and utterly goes all the way up to build height. It has this like cool cold water like spring in it or something. I think that's kind of cool. It'd be even cooler if it was like a hot spring and there was like some lava underneath or something. That'd be neat. But anyways, like this would be like finding stuff like this. And I understand that it's just kind of cut off because of the world height. That's probably something that if anything they would tweak with their generation so these things peak at world height. But I kind of like this. Like I would like to be able to build something up here, and with only 255 as the world height, I can't do that. And yeah, sure, they could take this feature and they could lower it down by like 30-40 blocks and then I could build on it, but then I'm not as high up in the air. I like this. 4J, if you're capable, if we could go up a little bit higher and a little bit lower in the world, that'd be so awesome. You're really going to free people up to do a lot. And I think unlike Minecraft did it really late, right? And then they've suffered some huge performance like dips because of it. If we can get something like that possible now, pre-launch, oh man, the sky's the limit. The sky's like, I guess literally the sky's the limit, but figuratively too, the sky's the limit. Anyways, let me talk about some final notes with some feedback that I have on the generation. One I've already mentioned a lot. Yes, there's too much water. There's too many of these like flowy rivers or like large rivers. Give me like a big ocean. Give me a few rivers here and there. Like maybe you could have like 1 or 2 larger ones, a couple large ones in a world, and then like little smaller ones that are very easy to cross and get across are good. So that way it feels like I have a big mass of land, because right now it never really feels like there's a large landmass. So that's number 1, and I think they already know about that. Number 2, I feel like I see the mountains a little bit too frequently. I like the mountains, but I see them so often. They're gonna get to be not very special in a short period of time. Like, you can see a mountain from almost anywhere in the game. So I think I would like to see that change. Another thing is, at least when it comes to the landscapes itself, I think the shape of the land is really good. There's some areas that are a little bit too rocky and noisy, and I don't necessarily mind some of that, depending on what it is. Mostly if it's like protrusions of rocks above the ground like this, I like this a lot. I do. I like protrusions above the ground a lot. I don't as much, there's another river. I don't as much like extremely frequent dips into the ground. We need it sometimes, right? Those are going to be our cave entrances, and those can sometimes have some cool things as well. But I think if you break it up too much, at least certain biomes, right? Like if I have something that's a plains, I don't want to see a lot of that, I don't think. Another thing, the trees, they are so sparse. In the plains biomes, like a tree like spread out like this, I think it's kind of, that's fine. I think that's okay. But even like when you get into areas that feel like they're supposed to be more wooded, like say this, like give me some serious tree density. I want a lot. I want to not be able to see. There's so many trees. And if I'm on ground level, just make sure I can like walk underneath most if not all of them. Of course, having some like things to block sight lines and things like that is cool and nice. But yeah, like there's nothing in the game that I've seen so far that really feels like a forest. Even if you look at like, let's see if we can find something. Like off in the distance, this kind of looks like a forest, right? But I think when we get up close to it, it's not going to feel like a forest anymore. And this is what I'm talking about, some of the like rocky land. When I get in here, like from above or from far away, like it doesn't look bad. Like when you get here, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like a thick forest to me. It kind of feels like some sparse woods. So I would love to see something like this that feels like it's intended to be a forest. I want it to be thick. I don't want to be able to see, 20, 30 blocks in front of me. I want there to be no real sight line. So when I'm going through here, I want to feel lost. And then if I need a lot of wood for something, I want to have a ton of room where I can farm wood. Yes, I know saplings and sapling growth will probably eventually come to the game, but that doesn't matter. I don't do that a lot in Minecraft right now. You know what I'll do? I'll go kind of far away and I'll just farm a whole bunch of trees. So density is good for that. Density is good for building in. It's good for exploration. It's good for danger. It's good for everything. So when it comes to our forest, I would love to see these be a lot more dense. I like the foliage, like these feel really good. And I like that there's tall ones that like, they kind of block your sight. So yeah, let's just get some more trees, a lot more trees. Like whatever's here right now, let's increase that by like 5 times, I think. Then maybe when you do some biome blending and it goes from like a woods type biome, a forest type biome into something else, maybe if they could have like a cool tapering off of the trees that eventually gets to this, and then it goes more into like the plains or whatever the other biome is. And I think that's all I have for now. They haven't really done anything with the oceans yet, but I think they're going to, because there are a lot of ocean-based blocks here in the, where is it? In here. Like a lot of these blocks right here are all like seabed blocks. So I know that's coming. I don't have anything to say about that. I'll be interested to see what they have with the oceans or the water. Also, I don't know that the water's ever really that deep. So maybe when they do that, that's something I would do too. Let me see. Let's check that really quick. Let me just find a big body of water that feels like it should be really deep. Okay, finding a big body of water has not been very easy. Most of them are not. It's about as big as I've seen so far. I'm sure I could maybe look around and see more, but the water's not very deep. This is extremely shallow. I would definitely like to see some oceans that like the water, like it goes down like 30, 40 blocks deep, which again would be even more reason to where we need more world height. I think that's going to be a lot of people's biggest thing. Is I think a lot of people are going to want world height. Ooh, you know what? We almost forgot something. We forgot to do caves, because I've looked in caves a little bit, not a ton. And they get extremely dark. So I'm gonna need to get some torches on me. Like when I say dark, they get pitch black. And this is something I would suggest changing. There needs to be like a base level of like light, I think, to where like you can barely see, like you can see a little bit, but like you can still kind of see, right? Like right in front of your face. There's none of that. I don't know. Maybe you guys might disagree with me. That's fine. Let me know. But yeah, let me see if I can find. I haven't like thoroughly explored a bunch of cave systems yet. I've poked down into a few, and a lot of them have kind of felt like this. Like they haven't been very big or expansive. Let me see if we can find something that's bigger and expansive, because I do have some comments about cave generation. Okay, here's another candidate for a cave. This one goes down kind of far. I can't place a torch against anything. We're gonna try to like maybe light this one up so we can just kind of see it. Ignore the fact that the torches don't place on surfaces. I'm sure that's something that they'll fix. So I would say this is definitely the largest cave that I've found so far. And after we get it lit up, we're then going to explore it, like walk through it, and I'm gonna let you know my thoughts. Okay, here we go. So I've lit this cave up so we can actually see. And I want to think about our experience when we go in a cave when it comes to like generation and like how we would feel about it, because the caves are supposed to be, at least in my mind, the dangerous place that you go to get a lot of reward, and a place where you can kind of like, you might get lost, but you're gonna just find like so much cool stuff down here and useful things that it's worth the danger. And it's actually just gets to be so fun to find the stuff that you could just stay here for hours and hours and hours. So as we kind of travel down, we do see some like ores and stuff, and I'm sure they're going to add in more ores and kind of figure out the generation of stuff when it comes to that. So I'm not going to nitpick that too much. We're more looking at like, how does it feel to explore one of these caves, and in like a survival style format. So I think over here, yeah, we've kind of gotten to the end here, and we've seen like some like ores and things like that, nothing too crazy. And we see that it does lead downward. So I think we go down. And let's see, we've gotten down to here. Some more ores down here that we could find and grab, and we would be placing torches on the walls along the way. That way we don't get lost. Find these like cool little rooms. This, I mean, it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. I like it. Seems to be nothing up there. Okay, now we would say we finished in this area. We would pillar back up here, whatever. And kind of looking around, I'm getting a little, honestly, getting a little lost here, which is fine. That's like the life of going through a cave. But in general, I think this is my initial, these are my first thoughts about caves. And maybe it'll change. I did explore this for a while in creative to place all the torches down. It didn't take super long. And this is the biggest cave system that I've seen so far. I would definitely like to have caves feel a little bit more large and expansive. I love like that in a game like Minecraft, you have big, huge caves, you have little tiny caves, you have spaghetti caves, you have tunnels, you have all these different layers, you jump up, down, and around, and things like that. It's really cool. It feels like it covers, like you cover so much area. They just feel so large. And for the most part so far, I haven't really gotten that out of the caves here in Reforj. So I think this is something where I would definitely, like, I think they should, I can go over here. They should definitely have like a biome style system for caves, and maybe they will. Maybe they have plans for that and they're just not there yet. But a biome style system for caves would be really cool, so you can find different things throughout the caves, and some areas are really big and some areas are really small. I would just love to have a lot of variety in them. Also, this is more of an art note, but like the blocks just feel really weird and off. It kind of, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the way that the blocks in here look. It doesn't feel super cavey. It kind of looks like abstract art or something like that down here. But yeah, I mean, this one's starting to get kind of big. It's a little bit larger than I thought it was, which is good. But I think just maybe the flow of it just doesn't feel, it doesn't make it feel super large or like you're covering a lot of area. And it feels like you could kind of get done with one really quick. So I think more like smaller tunnels connecting to like bigger rooms, and like just big. I want my cave systems to feel as big as the overworld does sometimes when I'm going exploring through and trying to find stuff. Anyways, as far as our first look here at terrain generation, the visuals, there's so much to say. It's pretty amazing, but I've said enough. What do you guys have to say about it? Let me know. What do you like the most? What's here, like what feature that's here blows your mind, you think is the most amazing and the most cool? What feature that is here do you think you like the least, and how would you change it? And then what feature do you think is the most obvious that's missing? Let me know those 3 things down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see a lot more of them, click the like button to let that YouTube algorithm know. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new content. We are the very first Reforj only channel, full-time channel out there. So I would love to have all of you on board as this game develops. I'm going to show you every little thing that I can, and I appreciate you guys watching today. Remember, I cannot show you the front of my face, so I cannot properly tell you goodbye because we don't even have a front-facing camera yet. But it's been awesome, guys. Thank you so much, and you have a good one. Bye-bye.